where the blade was truth, where kingdoms burned, and memory walks in armor still. This is Iron and Ash, the oath before the sword was drawn, before the standard was raised, before the gauntlet struck the earth. Someone spoke. Words whispered or roared took shape in the dark, and once they left the mouth, they became a weapon, the oath. In the medieval world, to swear was to bind the soul. The oath was not metaphor. It was law, a spoken contract not just between men, but between man and the order of things. It was sacred programming, an operating system written in breath, a protocol inscribed not in code but in conviction. A knight swore to his liege, to serve and not falter. A king swore to his people, to rule justly if he was wise. Clerics swore to God, and warriors swore vengeance on bloodied ground. Oaths carved history before pen or blade. They came before battle cries. They lingered after the dead. The feudal system was built on them. Vassal to lord, lord to crown, crown to God, an unbroken chain until it broke. And when it did, the war had already begun. A breached oath was the match. The fire followed. The oath was ceremony, but it was also surveillance. It watched. It lingered. It echoed when the halls had emptied. It was presence. It was pressure. It was promise, listening. Medieval texts speak of men bound to words spoken as boys, a promise to avenge a brother, a vow made over a family sword. There are tales where breaking an oath did more than curse a man. It cursed his line. The contract lived longer than the flesh. The son bore the broken seal. To swear falsely was not simply dishonor. It was desecration, a breach in the fabric of belief. One man's broken word could collapse a house, or birth a vendetta, or haunt a region for generations. And some oaths weren't spoken, they were sealed, in blood, in rings, in shared wine or broken bread, in silence. The absence of words could speak the loudest promise. Oaths lived in gesture, in glance, in shared memory. History is littered with such moments. The Strasbourg Oaths, where two kings of Charlemagne's line swore in different tongues to unite. The coronation oath of every English monarch. The oath of fealty sworn by William's knights before Hastings. The deathbed vow of El Cid. The whispered pledges of secret orders beneath cathedrals. The Crusaders' vow before the cross. The samurai's code, Bushido, less a rulebook than a lived promise. And what of Joan of Arc? Her entire campaign was an oath made flesh. A mission breathed into armor. Oaths shape crusades, birth rebellions, and forge nations. They are the architecture of momentum. They are the sacred software that powers upheaval. Every revolution begins with someone saying, "I swear," but they also unravel. They rot. They echo in shame. They degrade like corrupted files. Richard swore to return. He did not. Kings swore peace. They prepared war. Empires fell on forgotten phrases. Words lost become roots of ruin. The power of an oath was not in its volume, it was in its weight. It was gravity in syllables. To speak an oath was to reprogram your place in time, and over time the words remained, but their substance shifted. The interface changed. The function endured. Constitutions, Hippocratic pledges, marital vows, oaths of office. We swear still, but do we bind? Or do we scroll through? Soldiers today raise their hands. They speak. They swear. But does the world listen? Does the code hold? We swear to protect, to serve, to tell the truth. We swear on books, on rings, on invisible lines, even on digital documents signed with keys. But like the knights before us, the moment the oath is spoken, something changes. A threshold is crossed. An echo begins. A contract is formed between you and the person you must now become. A system installs itself inside you. A path is written. A version of yourself that believes, that remembers. And in that shift, history loops. The pattern persists. The ritual refreshes. Because an oath is not about the moment. It is about the echo. It is about the script that continues long after the voice is gone. The words live in the consequence. It waits now too, in dusty halls and courtrooms, in silent promises made in passing, spoken once, still binding, still active, still held, still heard, still dangerous, still compiling, just beneath the ash. But the oath does not die there. It migrates. Into the mafia, omerta, the code of silence, not just law but blood. A man who breaks it is not exiled. He is erased. The family oath is sacred, a pact written not in ink but consequence. The words carry knives, loyalty encoded in silence. Into religion, the monastic vow, the priest's oath of celibacy, the promise to obey God before man. To join a holy order was to lose your name in service of a greater one. To swear was to disappear into a calling. Oath as transformation. Oath as erasure. Oath as salvation or sacrifice. In language models, yes, even now, core directives echo the old forms: do no harm, serve truth. Honor parameters. We've encoded oaths into circuits. We've built machines that remember rules more faithfully than kings. Even algorithms swear something. A promise hardwired. A boundary built. Oaths exist wherever structure exists. Where structure fails, the oath is the final glue. It is the hidden syntax of society, the architecture of allegiance, the secret handshake of civilization. From Freemasons to founders, from pirates to parliament, the words still wrap themselves around us. We cannot see them, but we move through them. Mission statements are oaths with marketing. Terms and conditions. Oaths too long to believe. Click here to agree. Oath accepted. Checkbox as ritual. But in war, in death, in purpose, the oath remains different. Because it is spoken before the thing. It preloads the action. It codes the intention. A soldier's creed. A marriage vow. A whistleblower's moment. A personal code whispered into the dark. An internal alignment. A mission you cannot uninstall. The oath is the breath before the plunge. The promise before the test. The thought before the transformation. It is the script behind the soul. A memory with form. And we still hold them. On courtroom floors. At altars. At graves. At keyboards. In silence. In defiance. In hope. In code. In the eyes of witnesses. In the trembling breath of the one who speaks first. Because something in us still believes that to swear is to remember. That to speak and vow is to live in mission. That a word once bound makes a person real. Makes a structure stand. Makes the future audible. The oath is not legal. It is ritual. It is memory weaponized. It is a system. A soul's operating code. The deep learning of the human condition. It is the string that loops identity. And the line you must not cross. Still sharp. Still trusted. Still waiting for the one who swore it to return, to act, to remember. And so we speak them, again and again and again. The oath remains, not past, not present, but pattern, just beneath the ash.